Todd?
Didn't think to ask you Saturday night what it was like being behind the bench at the Kohl Center for the first time.
It was fun. It was, I guess, a little nervous going in. I think your first game, no matter when you start a new position or a new team, you're always a little bit nervous. But I was just excited for the guys because they had waited so long to play another team, to play in a game, and I knew how hard they worked to get ready for that game. So it was fun to be behind the bench. It was fun to be alongside Donnie and Mark. And it was certainly to be back in the Kohl Center and being part of the Badger staff was very special. And it's a night I will remember forever.
Brian?
Did they play and adapt to the systems as well as you might expect in their first game action?
Well, there were I think there were 25 guys that walked out of the building feeling good about how they played. I know we felt good about how all of them contributed in the game, and that was what really the first month on the ice has been with them, is to raise their expectations, to feel good about themselves from the standpoint that they're better players than maybe they felt they were coming in with the way things have gone the last 2 years. So we wanted them to have some success. They were flying. I mean, you can say what you want about the other team, but to have we went through an hour practice in the morning. We used it like a regular practice. We didn't rest up and make sure that we had everything in the tank to play that game. We used that day as a get better day. So we did a lot of work in the morning, and sometimes you wonder, well, how much are they going to have left for the game? Well, they were obviously anxious to get playing, and if you look at all the contributions on how they played, you really couldn't find a guy that had a disappointing night. So I was real happy for them. I think that was the most important thing out of the weekend, was that it was a positive start from a system side of things. We didn't implement a ton where they had to think out there. We wanted them to play. There's certain things we've obviously worked on in the first few weeks that they've adapted to very well, and I think it carried over into the game.
Andy, in the back?
Tony, how much more difficult did your job become preparing to play an actual game this weekend, having seen what you have, but knowing that you have to whittle down that roster and play guys that clearly will help you win Friday, Saturday night?
Yeah, and the good thing is, like I just mentioned, it's going to be hard decisions on who plays. We go from 25 guys down to 20, so there's 5 guys that won't be able to play on Friday night when we drop the puck. So I think the positive thing for us as coaches is we know we have depth. We know we have guys that are going to help throughout the year. So if they're not playing Friday night, they will be ready to play, whether it be Saturday, whether it be sometime down the road. So I was really encouraged by that. I thought the guys that maybe were thought of as being players that were just depth players, that they might be able to contribute regular situation. So I think, like I said, the most important thing was that they gained confidence in themselves as well, and I think we accomplished that.
I know they didn't get a lot of work, but did you get a good read from your goalies? Anything you could take out of that?
That was hard.
In analyzing them?
They didn't get a ton of action. They didn't get a ton of work down there. But they were good. I mean, it would have been nice if they would have got a little more, pressure on them. They would have spent a little more time in their end. You may have been able to get a little bit more out of them. But I think they gained confidence as well. So it was good to get both those young guys in the game.
Tony, I know Grant has mentioned he'd like to score 20 this year. I think Luke would like to score more, Cam as well. As a staff, or when you meet with those guys, do you maybe talk a little bit about numbers and what you might expect or hope to get from some of your forwards?
I don't particularly talk to them about numbers. I talk to them about areas of the game that they can improve on to help them get more chances to score. Those would be, I think all of those guys are capable of big number years. There's no question about that. They're all extremely skilled. They all complement each other extremely well. That was the line combination over the weekend. Will it be moving forward? It probably will be to start Friday night's game, but I do see other guys going into that position as well, and I might see Cameron playing center on a different line as well. So I think their flexibility with what we have up front is going to be another thing that will help us down the road. I think we got a lot of centers playing wings. I think there's a lot of combinations that we haven't been able to try yet just because of where we are in the season that also could be extremely productive. But for numbers, I don't think they're going to score. They're gifted offensively, and like I said, I think we break it down into smaller things on what they can do in the game to give themselves more chances and opportunities to score.
Andy, in the back.
Tony, after that exhibition game, what does your to-do list look like right now to get ready for this? What did you see that you liked? What did you see that you didn't like that needs quick addressing?
Yeah, I don't know if it's quick addressing. I think we're each and every day you go into it the same way, find an area of the game that you want to improve on in that day and make sure you accomplish that through practice, through meetings, through video. And Mark and Donnie are over there now getting today's meetings ready. They broke down the game. We saw a lot more positive than negatives, obviously. But there's certain areas that we will hit on today on small parts of the game that we need to focus on in practice this week to get ready for this weekend. But yeah, it's getting better every day and finding ways. I think that you always wonder about the specialty teams. And the other night it went really well, which is from a confidence standpoint a good way to start the season. But that we will work for sure on power play, penalty killing, and I think the good thing, and we got a working team, and when I say that in practice, I think we're to the point now where the PK unit will push the PP unit, and it'll be a competitive battle, which will make each of them better as we move forward. And that's the kind of environment we're trying to create. I think that's the kind of players we have. And they understand that. So that's certainly an area each and every week we'll work on it, but it'll be a big focus this week.
Anything else for Coach? Nope.
The Badgers have played in Green Bay a few times now. Would you like to play anywhere else in the state of Wisconsin besides Green Bay and Madison?
I think Milwaukee would be a place sometime we'd like to play. There's great hockey or great Badger fans and lots of hockey fans throughout the state. And anytime you get a chance to go up to Green Bay and play games, it's exciting. But there are also other areas for sure. Milwaukee would be an area that I'd like to play a game at some point down the road. Yeah, definitely.
All right. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you, guys.